So today I'm gonna talk about conversion events or different goals that you can set up within Google Ads, and you can map them to different campaigns. But sometimes people get confused when they go check the conversion columns. They see increased number of conversions than they actually are getting on their website, or sometimes, in the case of e-commerce campaigns, they see the conversion value to be a bit too oversized than what those campaigns are actually producing. So we have to understand a few things. So first of all, when you are setting up new goals for your campaigns, if it's an e-commerce website, of course, website purchase is going to be one of the key goals that you're going to set up, and then you are going to connect, the conversion event to your campaigns. So this is going to be the default conversion event that should be created in the case of every e-commerce campaign or any performance max or shopping campaign, where the goal of the campaign is to drive as much revenue as possible. So this is, this should be the default conversion action. And then, you might also consider setting up a few secondary conversion events. So add to cart, or in the case of, you know, um, analytics integration, you might want to import Google Analytics for data into your Google Ads system, so that the system gets more insights and data signals from this additional property, and based on that insight, it optimizes lots of factor to ensure that whatsoever your campaign goals are, it's able to steer those campaigns in that direction. So in those cases as well, when you set those up, you have an option to either set them as primary conversion actions or secondary ones. So if you have one primary conversion action for the purchases, you don't need to have more than one conversion action for the purchase, or in the case of these add to cart or other events that are not as such the primary conversion events. You should not, by default, set them to primary. And the way to do that is you just click on the conversion event, and you can see here, if you go to edit, go to the edit setting, go to conversion action optimization. Here you have an option to either set it to primary or secondary action that's not to be used for bidding optimization. So once you're done with these basic settings, you're going to go to the campaign section, and in here you will be noticing that sometimes you are getting more number of conversions than you are actually receiving on your website, in the case of leads or in the case of e-commerce purchases. So if that's going to be the case, what you have to look into is the settings of that campaign. So for example, first of all, you have to enable one column here to see a more granular look at what those conversion events are that are being factored in for this column. So you're going to go to modify columns and click on results, enable this results option, and go check there. So you see, in the case of, for example, this campaign, we have one phone call and 17 purchases and some engagements. So all of them, if you add them up, 17, 18, 18 plus 3, 21. And if I take a look at the conversions, I can see 18 conversions, but overall we have got 21 conversions. If I go to the settings and click on this, I can see that the account level goals are these. So we have purchases, we have phone calls, etc., etc. Um, so what you ideally want to do is, if any of these, secondary events are not to be included in your conversion column, we have set these things to be the secondary events, so they're not being factored in the conversion section, as we are seeing here that we got only 18 conversions while the actual conversions are 21. If you're not setting in the goal section, if you're not setting these secondary conversions to the secondary, if by default they are the primary conversions, what you would see is you will see um, a value reflecting conversions from all these events, right? So instead of 18, it would be 21. That's something you don't want, because you know that these other secondary conversions are not to be treated as actual conversions. They are just data signals for Google to optimize things around audiences, to help improve the performance of the campaigns. So as such, they are not to be considered as conversions. So download, I wouldn't, if I'm not interested in keeping this as a conversion, what I would do is I would go to the use campaign specific goal setting, and here I can manually select that Google should only optimize our campaigns around this specific primary event, that's purchases, and should not bother about these ones. But if you feel that your phone calls are also important, or getting directions, having your customers find directions is also important. You can check them and you can save them, but if you feel the most important event in the case of your campaign is this one, you can just save this, and what it will do is kind of instruct Google to only focus on what is most important to you in the case of this campaign. So you will set this to that primary conversion event, and you will save it. What they will also do is, you will not be seeing additional conversion values in here. So if you're, for example, setting up those secondary events and assigning certain value to each event, so a phone call for you is equal to $5 in the setup phase. If you are assigning any value to those conversion events, those values will also be added to the conversion value in here. So in that case, what you want to do is you simply want to factor them out, and you don't want to connect these secondary goals to any of the campaigns if you feel they're not necessary at all. So that, and other than that, if you want to take a look at the overall value of these campaigns, you can go to the columns and go to conversions and set this all conversion value. What it will show is basically the conversion value of all the events that are associated with this campaign. So if you take a look at the actual conversion value, the e-commerce transaction value is 40K in here. But if you take a look at the overall conversion value, that includes add to cart, that includes any values you're assigning to, getting directions, add to carts, phone calls, downloads, etc. So Google is going to add them all up and giving you a value that's going to be sometimes very, very unrealistic. So what you want to do is you want to, in that case, ignore this column and focus on this one. If it's not enabled, you can go to modify, go to conversions, and go to conversion value instead of this one. Uncheck this and save it. And that's it. Now this way, if you're applying those settings in here as well as in the goals section, It's going to help Google better understand your goals, and as a result, it won't spend the budget on um, unnecessary events. So instead of giving you more, let's say, downloads or calls or any other directions, etc., it will focus primarily on driving revenue on your website, and it will optimize a lot of factors around what is going to help the system get you more and more conversions and boost your conversion value instead of those other secondary goals. I hope this was helpful, and I will get back to you with some more small tips very soon. So stay tuned. If you're not subscribed to this channel, do subscribe and click on the bell icon so that you get notification and get some cutting edge advanced tips around your Google Ads optimization campaigns. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.